When you become a parent, the people you can relate with more than anyone else on the planet is other parents. But not just other parents in general, parents with the same age kids as you. Which is why it's really important to learn how to meet other parents. It's a network that allows you to vent. And I mean properly vent. Which is huge because if you don't vent, you'll explode! If you vent to people like your parents or your siblings who might have had kids already, they already forget what it's like to be in the thick of it and might make you feel like you're being a bit dramatic. I think time helps them forget what it was like, but still, if you want true empathy during conversation right now as a new parent, chatting with a fellow new parent is just the best. They know what's up. Today, I will talk about how to meet other parents without feeling creepy. So let's jump in.
Daddy, 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 Daddy!
Okay, I guess creepy applies more for us stay-at-home dads, as most often the person who stays at home with the children are women. And when you are a man approaching women, well, the only other time I really approached women in my life was in my younger days, and my objective at that time was very different than it is now. Plus, lots of guys have really weak social games when it comes to approaching women, so please be nice to them if they attempt it. It's hard. Of course, this advice applies to women as well. It applies to everybody. First, something to keep in mind when you become a new parent and you see a circle of other new parents who already know each other, it's intimidating. You wish you were in the circle, but you might be new to the area or new to the activity and feel like an outsider. Let me assure you though that most times the people in that circle are oblivious to you. They're just so happy to be out of their house and chatting with one another. They are in the zone. If they truly noticed you, they would be compassionate and invite you right over. New parents are nice. If you have the confidence, I encourage you just to approach the group and say, "Hi everyone, I'm sick of baby talk. Can I join in?" And most often they will say, "Of course." If they say, "Oh sorry, we're just old friends catching up," don't take it personally and move on to the next group. That's not always easy though, so don't worry, I'll offer other suggestions as well. I just want to point out that this isn't high school anymore, so if there are any thoughts in your head that are stopping you from reaching out and getting denied by the group, all of that disappears once you've gone through labor. Regardless of what kind of person you are and what kind of person they are, once you start swapping war stories about labor, pregnancy, parenthood, everything else goes out the window. You could be rich, you could be poor, but having a baby is the same for everyone. It's hard, and you will find common ground with people when you try. And that is a very important skill to learn if you want to meet other parents, and even just people in life, finding common ground quickly. Let's say you see another parent you're interested in talking with. Here are some topics to help break the ice and initiate conversation. Is their baby sleeping? Ask if the baby is a good sleeper. Do they nap often? Do they sleep train? This will spark convo. You can ask if they have a boy or a girl. You could even ask if they found out, but here's a tip. Don't express your opinion on whether or not people should or shouldn't find out what they're having. This can create tension, especially if you're on one side or the other. But you could ask if they were prepared to have one of the opposite sex. Ask whether or not this is their first child. Start the convo with some self-deprecation. That's always appreciated. "I got crapped on this morning, but I just don't care. I'm so over it. Do you remember clean clothes?" Ask what they miss most about pre-kid life. Then chime in with something about having actual thoughts. All right, those are some tips on what you can say to people and will hopefully get the creative juices flowing. Now, let's talk about where to actually go to have those types of conversations. Let me start by saying during the time of this recording, we are still in a pandemic, which has hindered a lot of the tips I'm about to offer. But fingers crossed, it'll be over soon so we can get back to normal life. The first place I want to talk about, which I didn't even know about pre-kids, is a program in most elementary schools for children's ages 0 to 5. In my area, this program is called Strong Starts, and it was just awesome for me. Your area might call it something else, so just call your local school and ask if they have any programs or drop-ins for new parents. It's usually a classroom in an elementary school which offers snacks, sing-alongs, book readings, all sorts of toys and activities like paint you might not have access to otherwise, and best of all, it's a place to meet all kinds of people. Oh, and even betterest of all, it's free. You might not have anything like this in your area, but don't worry, I'll talk about other places shortly. But if you do, I highly encourage you do your best to make it there on the regular. I've made some lifelong friends from this environment, and having a place to go to break up your day for a couple hours can be just huge. Plus, the teacher is often very compassionate and will help you engage with the group. But even if you don't want to engage with the group, you don't have to. You can just sit and read, or you can let your tot chill and play while you chill or play. Look into it. Here are a few more places for you to go or look into if you want to meet other new parents. The library. The library will often have story readings and baby groups and toddler play, etc. Call your local library and ask, or check on their website. The community center. The community center usually has all kinds of drop-ins. Things like music classes, baby and toddler yoga, gymnastics. Those are all great ways to break up the day. The community center ones are awesome too because they're usually very affordable. The swimming pool. Whether swimming lessons or finding local swimming group meetups, again, call or check their website. I will also add skating rinks to this one as well. We live in a part of the world where there are lots of skating rinks, so this can be a fun way to meet other adventurous people if that's what you're into. The mall. There are lots of mall walk groups for new parents. Google it in your area. Playgrounds. If you frequent certain playgrounds, you will befriend others, especially if and when your child starts playing together. And last but not least, Facebook groups. Facebook is a great way to find local parents. Look into it, even if you aren't big on social media for this reason alone. Another thing to do is, and this is what I did, is the build it and they will come method. You think of what you like to do or what you want to do, and then do it. I liked walking around trails and trying all sorts of new parks in the area. So what I did was I started my own Facebook group. Actually, since we've moved around quite a bit, I had to do this twice. And both times it was very successful. I mean like 40 to 50 plus people in my group. I made my own local Facebook group and named it after the area. So after I was chatting with someone that I liked and thought was cool, I was able to suggest that they join the group, which made it easy for me, not just to seem creepy, but easy for them as well, because they could connect with other new parents and not just myself. But here's a funny story. So I named the group after the town I lived in and added the words meetup at the end. So I'm near Vancouver, so let's just say it was called Vancouver Meetup. I had a picture of a playground, and in the description I said it's a place where parents can meet up with other parents. After a while, someone very provocatively dressed tried to join the group with no pictures of kids on their Facebook profile, so I reached out and sent a message and said hi, and I asked if she was hoping to meet some other parents and hang out. Yeah, she was, but not in the way I expected. I guess she thought we were a swingers club, because, you know, playgrounds. Anyways, so maybe don't name your Facebook group with the words meetup in it. Okay, so if you have approached people, this is how you can close. Sometimes you meet someone you really like, but then at the end, you leave and you both sort of wished you had exchanged info because you might never see them again. So here's what to do. Try and use Facebook or some other social platform to exchange information. Sometimes asking for a number, especially a man asking a woman, feels awkward. But if you say, I created a Facebook group for local cool parents, and it'd be sweet if you joined, it's a lot easier. You could ask for their number if you feel comfortable. After having a conversation, ask to meet them there another time. Just say, our kids had fun playing together. Want to meet here again sometime? See if they want to go out for a walk sometime, because it's so nice to chat with other parents and you're so sick of wiping butts. I usually say something like this. I hope this isn't weird, but I think you guys are cool and I'd like to hang out sometime if you guys are up for it. If you actually want to meet new parents, depending on your area, you might have to cast a wide net. It's something you're going to have to put some work into, which is hard because, trust me, I know you are already exhausted, and meeting new people does require effort. But even if you find just one other person that you can relate to, that you can parent down with, it makes it all worth it. Yes, there are other people barely surviving out there, and it's important that you meet them. So hit the Facebook groups, find a subreddit group for your local area, post activities you might do or places you might go and ask people to join along, reach out to your local elementary school and ask if they have any programs for new parents, call the library, call the community center, ask them, the pool, the ice rink, the local gymnastics place, the local gym, rock wall climbing, play centers, the mall. Search for meetup groups in your area. But be mindful because they might be different than you expect. If they ask what you're wearing, move on. Unless, no judgment here. Put yourself out there. Even getting out of the house for an hour a day can be huge for your mental health. Plus, you never know what kind of people you might meet. Maybe you'll meet a lifelong friend for your kid. And how cool would that be? Okay, that's it for today. Hopefully I gave you some ideas on where and how to meet other new parents. If you have any tips to share, please post in the comments section, as that advice or that tip could be a complete game changer for a new parent. Don't be shy. This is why the internet is great. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and like the video if you haven't already. It's really important to help me grow if YouTube sees that my viewers like the content by clicking the thumbs up. It helps the algorithm. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time on The Sad Life.